We're so glad you're here. Grab a seat, get comfortable. I feel like Arsenio Hall. Thank you for being here. Wow. All right, I got to get the show started. Thank you all for coming. We do have a great show tonight, great lineup. Vivek Ramaswamy on set with us right here in studio. Senator Tim Scott right here in studio. And in just moments, we're going to hear from House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. Yeah. Now, today, Jordan and other Republicans confronted big time the Attorney General Merrick Garland, who frankly needs to be impeached, during what was an explosive hearing on Capitol Hill. More than half of the country no longer trusts Garland, and for good reason. Biden's so-called justice system has become weaponized and politicized, like the FBI, beyond belief. Unequal prosecution, unequal sentencing, unequal application of our laws. We don't have equal justice under the law. And a sitting president who, of course, has been shielded, protected from any and all legal scrutiny, while his chief political rival, Donald J. Trump, has been targeted with dozens of stacked charges in one of the most aggressive prosecutions in American history. This has never happened to a former president one time. It's happened 4 times. Perfectly timed, interestingly enough, even though these issues go back years, for the 2024 election season. But this is all news to Merrick Garland. The Attorney General believes he's done a heroic job. He thinks he's great, leading a fair, righteous Department of Justice. But for some reason, well, Garland just wasn't willing to able to answer questions in any direct or forthcoming manner, as I kind of predicted. Take a look.
Have you had personal contact with anyone at FBI headquarters about the Hunter Biden investigation?
I don't recollect the answer to that question, but the FBI works for the Justice Department.
I'm sorry. You don't recollect whether you've talked with anybody at FBI headquarters about an investigation into the president's son?
I don't believe that I did.
I don't believe, I don't remember, I don't recall. Willful ignorance was the theme of the day for Merrick Garland. Question after question after question, no clarity whatsoever. Garland didn't seem to know much about anything, to be honest, likely by design, I would think. Garland, he's not a fool. On day one, he knew that the old Biden family business was a huge problem. But luckily for Garland and, of course, Joe Biden, the solution was already in progress, thanks to federal prosecutor David Weiss. Weiss's seemingly never-ending investigation, now over 5 years long, into Hunter Biden, allowed Garland to distance himself and ignore all the questions about the allegations against Joe and Hunter. When he became special counsel, I told you this would happen. At the same time, Garland put a big show about his integrity, his independence, bragging that he and Weiss had the undisputed power to bring charges anywhere, any jurisdiction, knowing full well that Weiss was not using that authority at all, and told the IRS whistleblowers he didn't have the authority, and contradicted himself to both Jim Jordan and Lindsey Graham. After getting turned away by Biden-appointed prosecutors in another district, well, Weiss was reportedly just simply content. Plan A was to charge Hunter with nothing and, close the investigation. It was over. Now, all of a sudden, we had those IRS whistleblowers show up and sound the alarm. Take a look.
You said he had complete authority, but he'd already been turned down. He wanted to bring an action in the District of Columbia, and the U.S. attorney there said, no, you can't. And then you go tell the United States Senate under oath that he has complete authority.
I'm going to say again that no one had the authority to turn him down. They could refuse to partner with him. They could not.
You can use whatever language. Refuse to partner is turning down.
All right, from the looks of all this, either Garland was lying under oath or Weiss did all the dirty work, while the Attorney General was pretending to bury his head in the sand. Now, of course, the Weiss case is now a disaster in every single way. Multiple serious allegations of misconduct from government whistleblowers and an FBI whistleblower, followed by a highly unusual sweetheart deal that was rejected by the judge. Remember, that was Plan B. because they didn't plan on originally charging Hunter Biden. Okay, whistleblowers show up. Let's act like we'll give them a slap on the wrist. We'll insert in the plea agreement, in the gun charge provision, the diversion program, full immunity for Hunter, no jail time. And after 5 years of investigating Weiss, he allowed the statute of limitations to run out on some of the most serious tax charges that during the Burisma years. What a coincidence. But despite all of this, you know who Garland appointed as special counsel to clean up David Weiss's mess. He appointed David Weiss, of course. It's almost as if the goal is to protect the big guy, Joe Biden, instead of actually prosecuting serious crimes. Look at this.
Mr. Garland, did you consider, I just want to go back to this question, did you consider anyone else when David Weiss requested special counsel designation on August 8th?
No, Mr. Weiss asked to be made special counsel, and I did not consider an alternative. I'm going.
To be clear, he was the only one under consideration. It was either no special counsel, or if there was a special counsel, it was going to be the guy who presided over the investigation for the previous 5 years. They made an intentional decision to say, we're going to let the statute of limitations lapse. And I want to know who decided that and why they did it.
Mr. Weiss was a supervisor of the investigation at that time and at all times. He made the appropriate decisions, and you'll be able to ask him that question, and he will.
You know why they did it. Everyone knows why they did it. May not say it, but everyone knows why they did it. They didn't. Those tax years, that dealt with that involved the president. It's one thing to have a gun charge in Delaware. That doesn't involve the president of the United States. But Burisma, oh my, that goes right to the White House. We can't have that.
Why would Garland ever consider anyone else? Weiss already debased himself in court, sacrificed his reputation to protect Joe Biden. Right on cue, though, a couple of gun charges, Plan C now, against Hunter showed up, not against Joe, the low-hanging fruit. Now that the plea deal, of course, imploded, thanks to that Delaware judge that actually read the plea agreement, asked the prosecution, have you ever seen a deal like this before? And they gave the answer, no, they never saw one. Then why are you offering it to them? And a federal judge demanded action. By the way, no FARA violations, the tax charges, statute of limitations go away. Nothing that would implicate Hunter's father, the big guy, Joe, who Hunter gave half his income to Pops and paid all of Pops' home repairs. And we have the emails proving that. And by the way, who has lied? Joe Biden has lied and changed his story repeatedly and was up to his eyeballs engaging with Hunter's business partners, both here at home and abroad. The DOJ, they'll go to great lengths to serve Joe Biden and other Democrats for that matter. If you are part of the BLM riots, tried to burn down a federal courthouse in 2020, 574 riots, if you doxed a conservative Supreme Court justice's home, you surrounded them with angry mobs, Biden's DOJ was more than happy to let you off the hook. But if you were accused of obstructing a sidewalk outside of an abortion clinic legally, get ready for a SWAT team to come knock on your door, guns drawn, full tactical gear, followed by several serious felonies and a lengthy prison sentence. You all know it's true. We don't have equal justice. Biden's weaponized DOJ has so much contempt for, half the country, that they're criminalizing conservatives while protecting the likes of the Clintons, the Bidens, and anyone that's a Democrat. Today, Garland couldn't even give a direct answer to this simple question about traditional Catholics who were allegedly targeted, spied on by the FBI and the DOJ because of their deep, abiding faith, religious views. Look.
Attorney General, through the chair, I ask you, do you agree that traditional Catholics are violent extremists?
I have no idea what the traditional means here.
Catholics that go to church.
May I answer your question?
Yes or no?
The idea that someone with my family background would discriminate against any religion is so outrageous, so absurd.
Mr. Attorney General, it was your FBI that did this. It was your FBI that was sending, and we have the memos, we have the emails, we're sending undercover agents into Catholic churches.
Now our justice system is broken. Our Attorney General is an arrogant, deceptive, political hack, and the vast majority of employees at the DOJ are far-left Democrats with Trump derangement syndrome. It is a dark day for American justice, but we are still just one election away from turning all of this around. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.